3 back on the trail. Had a really good night last night in Gorham. Nice view here of this lake. I started the morning walking along a really neat stream, and today have to go up and over the Wildcats, or part of them anyway. It's a big ski area in New Hampshire, and it's notoriously difficult. So I'm going to do 13 miles, I think, to a shelter, and then tomorrow have an easier day, and I'll be able to go back into Gorham and do a little recovery after my first couple days on the trail. But definitely sore, but feeling good, and glad to be back in sort of the routine of it. The reputation for Wildcats being hard is well earned. Give a wave, guys. This is part of the trail. More rock climbing than hiking or scrambling, really. Wildcat, one of the Wildcat peaks. I think there's quite a few of them. Way off in the distance, you can see Mount Washington, just up there. And over there, I think, is Franconia Ridge, which is another section of where you're up above tree line. And you can't see it, but apparently that direction is the Atlantic Ocean, just 90 miles, and on a clear day you can see it. So that was sort of cool. There's a gondola up there at the just back a little bit because it's a big ski area. So almost went down in to get to a restaurant or something, but it's only 10:30 in the morning, so I decided not to. But a fair amount of up and down yet to do today. So on we go. Our lunch break at what's called Carter Notch Hut, and there's this beautiful lake very close to the hut, and we just came down off of that thing, and maybe there's a good view over here on the other side of the trees. We have to go up that thing. So classic Appalachian Trail. Go down and then go right back up. Well, all the hard climbs are done for the day, or all the big ones, I'll say. And just a second ago, it was nice, smooth trail that was relatively flat. There are some rocks here, but this isn't too bad compared to what the past 2 days have been like. So it's really nice to finally get some decent trail to hike on, and actually hike instead of climbing and scrambling and all that kind of stuff. So another 6 miles to the campsite, and then shooting for a shorter day tomorrow to Nero into Gorham, where I can take a little rest after my hard first couple of days back. From my tent, I realized that was a mosquito. I don't know how that mosquito got in, but he's not supposed to be in. So I made it to camp. It was definitely very difficult. I had to push myself sort of to make it to camp, but got a nice campsite here, and there's a good water source and a privy, and that mosquito is still in here. I don't know how I didn't get him. But yeah, I have dinner going now. Hopefully you can see it. I'm going to keep the door closed, and it was really hot today, so I have my shirt hanging on the tent before I put the rain fly on, just to sort of dry it out some. And I think it'll be 7 miles tomorrow into town, and take a Nero at the hostel, which is I'm really looking forward to that. Another foggy, windy, showery day. Fortunately, I only have to do 8 miles, and we'll go into town and stay at a hostel tonight. So the promise of shower and a dry place to stay, dry clothes, is definitely motivation to keep going. But it's not terribly cold, so that's good. But the moisture makes the rock pretty slick, so But most of it's downhill, and nothing is super steep, I think, so should be a decent day terrain-wise in the end. The wind and the clouds cleared off, and I have a very smooth trail, and it's all downhill. So it's only a couple miles left. Should be a decent rest of the time into town. Grab some pizza, get a shower. Really looking forward to it for sure. Well, I had a good night in town last night at the Rattle River Hostel, and it's a beautiful morning. Get to go across this bridge right next to the dam. Cool view of the river, and it's a perfect temperature right now. It's a little chilly. I'd guess maybe high 50s or 60 degrees. I'm not really sure. But I think it's supposed to be a really nice day, and I only have to do 11 miles over some tough stuff, but I think the next 60 or 80 miles or something like that are pretty rugged, and once you get into Maine, which will be tomorrow, hopefully. But yeah, shouldn't be too bad. So, one thing I forgot to mention is that I'm officially out of the whites. One of the hardest sections of the trail finished, and on to southern Maine, which is also considered to be one of the hardest sections of the trail. But I was just thinking to myself as I was walking, that times like this are part of why you hike the Appalachian Trail. Nice cool morning, the sun's shining, perfectly blue skies, decent trail to walk on, beautiful woods on either side. So yeah, it's just after coming through the really tough stuff with all the rocks and everything in the whites, it's nice to, it was definitely challenging but super rewarding, but still it's nice to just have a time like this to sort of keep moving and get a good rhythm going and just enjoy the beauty around you. Here I am on top of Mount Success, which is the last big mountain in New Hampshire. Gonna be pushing into Maine today and just camping like a half mile inside the Maine border. And then tomorrow is a section called Mahoosuc Notch and Mahoosuc Arm, which is the most difficult or most fun mile on the Appalachian Trail, depending on your perspective, I guess. Apparently it's just a boulder field, like a jungle gym that you have to crawl through, in and under and around rocks and everything. So hopefully get some good footage of that. Now we're at the peak of Mount Success, and Mahoosuc Trail that way. The cool land of Maine actually exists. 13 states down, 1 to go.